What's up everyone, this is Steven and I'm going to show you how to set up Chatness in no time. So first things first, once you have downloaded and extracted all the files, you can cd to the root folder. The root folder is the one containing package.json, Angular.json and others. If you ever want to rename my chat app mentions along all the files, you can just run these onliner comments. Next, we need to install all the node dependencies. I have already installed all the node dependencies here. Just make sure to be running on Node version 14. And next, we are going to set up our Firebase project. In this video, we are going to talk about a different approach to set up Firebase, because currently there is a crazy bug on their end where when you create a new database on Firebase, in our case Firestore, this database is not correctly linked to Google Cloud Data Center, and I haven't found any solution for this bug yet. But after a few trial and errors, I ended up with a crazy solution which consists in first creating a Google Cloud account and then switching back to Firebase account and linking the full region of Google database manually in the Firebase settings, and then switch back again to Google Cloud Platform and reverting the database they create to the native mode, which is required by Firebase. So yeah, this is a bit of crazy, but I'm going to show you how to do this now. Alright, so I have created a new Google Cloud Platform account. It's a brand new account. Next, we are going to create a new project. I'm going to call this project My Chat App. This process can take a few minutes. So let's select this new project. Now let's get back to Firebase console and hit up create a new project. Important thing to notice is that here we are not going to enter any new project name, because we need to just select the new project we just created on Google Cloud Platform, but it's not appearing here right now because it can take a few minutes. So let's keep refreshing the page until this new project appears in here. Alright, so it's appearing now. We can select our new project that's created, because in this step we are actually not creating a new project, we are just linking this project with Google Cloud. We don't have any Google Analytics for now. Alright, continue. Great. So once we have linked our Google Cloud Platform account with Firebase, we can now go to the project settings in Firebase and select the full GCP resource location. This is where the bug is, because there's some crazy bug on their end which is not selecting or assigning this resource location upon creation. So let's select this location now. It can be anyone you find better. Alright, once the resource location is updated, we can get back to GCP and just check if our Firestore is good. So yeah, since we have defined our location previously on the Firebase console, Google has set up a database service for us, but it's using the wrong data mode. So that's another problem on their flow. So we need to go to the data store page, and since this database is still empty, we can switch back to native mode here, which is required by Firebase and Chatness due to its functionalities like real-time and etc. So okay, now we have our Firebase project set up, and we have activated our Firestore. Next up, let's set up our Firebase CLI. To install the Firebase CLI, you have two options. You can use your URL or npm. I have it already installed here. And then you have to log in and test. I also have logged in with my account. I will just test if everything's okay. All right. Our project is successfully set up, and we have a resource location ID, which is super important, because if this information is blank in here, it means we can't do anything on Firebase. Next up, let's link with Firestore. Here we are going to configure stuff to deploy our rows and indexes. This is super important to make our queries fast, and it's also required to run some queries by Firebase. So we are delivering it for you upfront, so you don't have to worry about this, and get the app up and running fast. So let's Firebase init Firestore. We need to use an existing project, which is the project we just created. It's going to link our accounts, but first we need to define what file has the Firestore rules. In our case, is firestore.rules, which is present on the project already, so you don't have to worry about this right now. But pay attention that these rules are only supposed to be used in dev, not in production. What file should be used for Firestore's rules? You just enter, no, enter, no. All right, initialization is complete. Now we are going to deploy these rules and indexes. Let's copy this command. Great. Once these rules and indexes are deployed, we can check if everything's okay just by going on the Firestore database, all products, Cloud Firestore. It's not going to show the Firestore right now because of these bugs I'm talking about. So you can just hit create database again here, but it's going to be useless because our database is already created. It's going to give us an error about cannot enable Firebase for this project, but it's actually enabled already, so you can just ignore this and cancel, and then refresh the page, and boom, our Firestore is good. We can check rules. Yeah, they have been deployed successfully. Indexes, all right, all indexes in place. All right, now we are going to add our Firebase SDK. as well the Firebase JS credentials, which is public and published within the app. In order to do that, we can just copy this command, which is duplicating a template config file. Then we can open this config file, and now we are going to create a new web project or register a new app project based on web. In order to do that, we go to settings, project settings, and click on this web symbol in here. We are going to call this my chat app. We don't need Firebase roasting at all. So what we need here is actually just this portion of information. So we can just copy this information and paste in here on Firebase config, and we are all set for the JS SDK we need to add within the app. And now we are going to create or register a new service account, because with a new service account we can run our scripts to populate database, to see that database and have a bunch of data to test with. So you hit up service account, generate new private key, generate key, it's going to download the JSON file. And once it's downloaded, you can just copy this information as well, and you are going to create a new file on the seeds folder called service account.json, and paste the service account credentials. Right? One thing important to note is that the service account is a sensitive information, so you don't want to comment or add this in your Git control. So once you have created a Git control for this project, just make sure to add this file to git ignore, and you are safe. Next up, seed database, but I think I have forgotten to enable email authentication, so let's do this right now. We are going on our Firebase console, authentication, get started, native providers, email, password, enable, save, and that's all. So now we can just run npm run seed users and watch while these users are created. So for example, authentication. They scripted there these users for us to test. All these users' password are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And next, npm run seed groups. Once again, let's check out our database, Cloud Firestore, and you can see all the users were added successfully to the database, and as well now those groups, those chat groups. All right, next, npm run seed messages. Oh well, this command may take a while because it's adhering kind of 1 year worth of messages. So I'm not really going to wait for it to finish, but we can already play around the app. You can refresh Firebase and see that messages have been adhered. Perfect. So So next step is just run the app. Let's take a look on Chatness and how it feels. Alright, it's running on this port. Let's open this. And here we go. So we can register a new account if you want. So I will call this Raul at somebody.com 123465. Great account. Account created. If you navigate to your contacts, it's going to be empty because you didn't send. We just created a new account and didn't send any messages to anyone. So let's send one right now to John. Hello, John. Send a message, and here you are. Hello, John. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video and see you soon.